Hi, folks. Welcome to my office. Um, I'm here to basically summarize the work we did this past Sunday. I was thinking about a shortcut approach where you can immediately understand what we did regarding the somatic center process. So here it goes. And this is something you can apply on yourself or with others. It's very simple. This is usually how I work with clients. So say during the course of a week you find yourself feeling a little bit down, a little bit depressed, sad, grieving over things, whatever emotions are you're experiencing. The first thing I do is to find out where in my body do I feel am I feeling these emotions. Usually, in my case, I usually feel them here in the forehead, but you might find them in the heart, in the throat, in the gut, in the groin, but somewhere between your forehead all the way down, there is a spot where you're feeling most emotion. For instance, anxiety usually is felt here around the solar plexus. Tightness, unable to express yourself, sometimes is felt here. We all have different ways of expressing kinesthetically what we're going through. Now, you don't have to wait until a full blown emotional breakdown. You can just, you're feeling a little bit down, one of those down days, blue days. Where is it? So this is what I usually do. Find out where it is in my body. Let's assume that it's in my forehead. So place it over your over that center right now, and then say the following. I'm sure there's a good reason why you're feeling this way. Thank you for showing up. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. How can I make you feel better about yourself today? I'm sorry I have ignored you. I'm sorry I neglected you. But what can I do to make you feel better? I'm here for you. So essentially, what you do is that you repeat those relational mantras you learn in class. Let's say you're doing it to yourself right there. And then wait, see what happens. What happens to the feeling? Now, this is the key. You got to do it with sincerity. What I'm saying to you is that these things that work like clockwork, because the basic model that we're working with is that they're all parts of us that we always, sometimes at any moment, we might be ignoring. And then that part of us remind us that we are ignoring them. So we need to reach back to them and let them know that they're included and they're welcome in our family. Part of the work of civilization is to have you focus on one specific aspect of who you are, whether you be the parent that does everything for the kids, then feels exhausted, or maybe the worker, or maybe the student. So the result is an imbalance. So this process is a way of rebalancing yourself. So I would recommend start out with you. You are your first client. You're patient zero. And anything that start paying attention to those little feelings, like maybe that morning blues or stiffness or something. Where in your body are you feeling it? Place your hand over that part of your body and then repeat the relational mantras. And I know that once you start doing that to yourself, you'll be 100% or 1,000% more confident to do it with others because this thing works. Now, let's say you have done it already with yourself and you want to say, well, how do I do it with others? Okay, so let's say someone comes to you with anxiety, right? Say, I'm so and so, I'm feeling really anxious. It's okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank that part of you that is feeling anxious because I'm sure that part of you has a good reason for feeling anxious. And although you may not know, he knows. So I'm here to welcome him so maybe he can help us, help you become and feel better about yourself. For starters, I want you to know where are you feeling the anxiety this moment? Where is he or she talking? The heart. Okay, great. First of all, I want you to really understand there's a part of you that's reaching out to you right now. a part of you that wants you to acknowledge him or her. Perhaps it's been a long time since you worked together. And I'm here to champion you and you, both of you. Now you might ask, how old is your part? How old is he? Ask him, how old are you? What's your name? And let's say the name is Little Johnny. Well, Little Johnny, welcome again. Because I really believe that you are communicating something really important to John. And although he may not know it, I know that you have a lot of good reason to feel this way. So, Johnny, tell me, how old are you? I'm 9 years old. Oh, yeah, well, that's a great age, isn't it? And I'm sure that you perhaps there are aspects of you feel you haven't you've been ignored. But I'm here to tell you that we're going to work with you and John to make sure that you are welcomed here. So at this point, if you're doing it in a slow, hypnotic way, the person will start feeling emotions, sadness, grief. They might even start crying and see that as a sign that something is coming up, opening up. And as they start crying or start showing an emotion, or they may even start a rage or anger, again, keep repeating the relational mantras to you and says, look, I'm sure that you're angry. There's good reason for you to be angry. And perhaps behind that, there's something else that you really want. You want to be loved. You want to be held. Again, it all comes back to love. It all comes back to connection. Always remember that. These parts that are reaching out to us, they want to be held. They want to be loved. They want to be welcomed. They want to be appreciated. They want to be part of the family. And many of them feel they're being left out, that they were left behind. So your goal is to act as if there is that part of you is alive and living, which he is or she. So bring him in, bring him into your family, bring him into your heart. Okay, so let's say you're doing this for a little while. The part is sad. It says, well, yeah, that's right. Let go, let it go. That's right. It's been a long time. You've been holding that feeling for a long time, and that's okay because I'm here with you, with both of you. And I'm just wondering, little Johnny, what is it that you need to hear from John? What hasn't he told you? What do you need? So keep connected. Eventually, the person will calm down, and then at that point, you turn to John. Say, John, you see what's going on. You see, there's a part of you that has been trying to reach out to you for a long, long time. It's about time both of you now start connecting because he's waking up. You're waking up to his presence. So, John, I want you to close your eyes for a second. This is part 3. Remember what we did in the exercise. I want you to close your eyes for a second and ask your unconscious. Ask your unconscious to give you, to enlist you, invite your unconscious to help you with perhaps resources or things you could do with little Johnny. I'm assuming that John doesn't know how to even connect with little Johnny, right? In which case, you say, well, John, do you have a son? Do you have a daughter? How do you feel about them? Most likely, they'll feel, remember the first time you saw them, you saw their eyes, you saw that sense of wonder opening in front of them. Remember that, right? You're anchoring that. You're anchoring that as you're telling him that. Oh, yes, that's right. Audio anchors. Is that how? What was that? What is that word that you said when you first met or saw your son or your daughter? You held her for the first time. Oh, she's so beautiful. Let's say, example. Oh, she's so beautiful. That's beautiful, isn't it? And at that point, you say, well, now I want you to go back to little Johnny. Look at him. He's so beautiful. Feel that sense of love moving into him. And maybe for the first time in his life, he finally feels appreciated. And see what happens. You'll start feeling a connection. You start feeling something will start shaping up. The person will start feeling something shift in their body. You'll notice that happens. One thing you may want to do before you even ask him about where do you as you when you're going to ask them about that first time they saw their son or their daughter or something really special and a belonging experience, where do you feel that experience? Well, I feel that experience in my forehead. Okay, touch it. And every time you touch your own forehead, you feel that kind of loving feeling you have towards your son or daughter, right? Good. Touch that forehead. Really feel it vibrating, almost good. Now I want you to reach out to John with the other hand. Bang. Now imagine a wave of loving awareness spreading from your forehead, down your arm, down your elbow, through your chest to him. And feel that love, that connection for maybe for the first time. That's right. Soak it in. Really feel it. Notice how he's feeling now that he's maybe for the first time and tell him, I'm here for you. You belong here. Thank you for showing up. And again, you ask him to repeat the relational mantras. And that should be like the end of the session. That's like a 1 hour session. I just abbreviated in a few minutes. But the key, again, it goes, there's no real mystery signs here. The key is this. First of all, you want to do it on yourself over the next couple of weeks. You find start paying attention to those fleeting moments of which we all have. You know, I haven't found anyone who says, "Oh, I'm pumped up and happy." We have these moments. You know, we're all getting older. Some things are happening in our life. We feel there are all kinds of things going on. So pay attention. Pay attention to those feelings. So that's those parts of you that are, and perhaps we ignore them. We're so used to ignoring them, we move our own way. But those parts are still there. So for the purpose of this exercise, I want you to first pay attention to those parts inside of you that feel occasionally a pinch of sadness or grief, or the sadness or regret, a little bit. You know, it doesn't. Don't pick a trauma. Pick something on a 1 to 5 scale. We all have that. Everyone has that, and I mean everyone. Little moments where the passing of time, missed opportunities, etc. Start with yourself, and then find out where in your body you feel it. If it's in the chest, say, as if you're talking to, and which you are talking to someone else, and says, "I'm here for you. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. You really mean a lot to me." This is the kind of tonality you want to use. You don't want to scream welcome. You say, "You mean a lot to me. Thank you for showing up. I'm here for you. It's been a long time, but I'm here for you," etc. And feel and see what happens to you internally. Because once you get that shift internally inside yourself, you'll say, "Okay, this is what other people are experiencing." Because until then, it's all academic, it's all theoretical. Well, Dad told me to do this, do that, and I'll connect. No. Experience it yourself. I do it all the time. And that's how you get that congruency. So when you speak to someone, you can connect right there with that part. You don't have to spend hours or days trying to connect. You're right there. When the person comes to you with an emotion, he's already reaching out to someone. So it's so easy to connect. Bang, right there. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. To really, you want to have that sense of congruency. And absolutely, no matter what happens, I'll be there for your client, or I'll be there for myself, whichever you choose. And then again, follow the step. Where is the, thank you for showing your relational mantra. Thank you for showing up. Where are you feeling that feeling in your body? Use the tonality. Let's say your chest. Well, thank you for showing up. And I'm sure there's a good reason why he is feeling that. Remember, use words he or she, not you, he. There's a dissociation which we're intentionally creating so he can start being more and more comfortable. At some point, that dissociation stops, and then he reassociates back to the person who is inside in his heart. So once that's squared away, the second piece then, if you want to move forward, is thank you, and then change states. You say basically, okay, John, there's something special here that is happening. I'm sure you're a little bit mystified. But very soon you'll find out what it is. But in the meantime, I want you to think of a time in your life when you felt love for someone. Maybe the first time you fell in love. Maybe the first time you held your daughter or your son, and you looked in his eyes and realized the world was wide open for him. That sense of you would do anything, or maybe you do anything for your wife, or you do anything for someone special in your life. Have the person access that feeling. And I guarantee this is a very powerful technique. Where is that person? Who's that person? Think about it. Go back and really feel those feelings. Feel them in your bones and your muscles. You'll do anything for her or him. Where are you feeling that? Where are you feeling that in your body? For example, the forehead. Okay, put your hand over that. And as you put your hand there, keep experiencing those awesome feelings of love and possibility and expression and anything. And you make sure you use that kind of, or love. You want to be intense, but at the same time be gentle, intense, gently intense, or intensely gentle. But the key is that person that's feeling. Maybe you'll know that their cheeks are coloring, the muscles are relaxed. Okay, feel that. Oh, love that. And at that moment, now, John, holding on to that feeling, I want you to also place your other hand where Johnny is. Bang, bang. He's here, bang. And now, for the first time, feeling that feeling towards your son you have towards Johnny. And notice how he's responding. And imagine a wave of awareness, of love that is bubbling from your forehead back to your heart. To his heart or your heart. Or to him. And see the magic happens. This is it. This is it. Once you get this formula, people, you can help virtually anyone, whether it be PTSD, anxiety, and so on. Now, with very advanced cases, there may be some other things that we need to do. Usually, people with extreme symptoms are so dissociated from those parts. So abuse, sexual abuse, PTSD, they need a lot of work, a lot more work, and kind of scaffolding and build a parent to that person. It may not be a parent to them, but it's parent to you. They need a parent. It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Well, it does. But since we're only working with clients that are basically have a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of apprehension, tension, maybe insomnia, little things, 4 to 8, 4 to 6, this works wonders. For those who are interested in more advanced techniques, I can definitely fill you in towards the end of the program or other programs that I do. But folks, please do this. Don't just read notes and write notes like everybody else is doing. And I want you to experience this reality inside you. Don't just write notes because you won't be able to pick up a note and read it. What I've just mentioned, and I will send you the actual breakdown. But please practice it on yourself, and if possible, practice it with your friends or your family or someone. But again, pick a intensity level between 1 and 5. All right. So I hope this has cleared up some issues you've had regarding last week. We're entering into some deep territory. But the sooner you begin to experience this, the more powerful a facilitator you'll become. Okay. All right, people. Thanks again for showing up. And I will probably before our next class, I'll have a couple other programs. I'll send you a breakdown, literally a list by list breakdown. And again, I want to emphasize that's good while you're reading it, but experiencing is the key, either in yourself and others, because every experience is stacked. So you become more and more congruent. So the minute you step into that office, whether it's your client or your son or your daughter, you know that you're not going to leave that until they feel better. That kind of attitude, really the other person will soak it in. They say, I trust this person. Don't be one of those losers or people out there who are just completely phony. You want to be the real thing, because perhaps this is the very first time in their life they've seen someone like you. Okay? So I'll see you then, and stay cool, because it's going to be warm in the next couple of days. Have a good one.